Welcome, guys, to episode 5 of the Odd Ones podcast. I am Reese, and I'm with
Fraser.
and we are with a very special guest, emphasis on special, my girlfriend.
What an intro.
They're going to have to say that name again. I don't think they quite heard that.
I think it's about on the mic. Lauren. It's my name.
Yeah, for this episode, because we've had several people say that we swear a lot, I downloaded a swear jar app. So every time we swear, we'll add to it and see what we get.
Much.
Yeah, pretty much.
How much dollar?
Yeah. That's it, really.
I thought there was going to be some sort of like, we'll donate you to charity or something.
Well, now you said it, I would feel bad if it goes. So I guess we have to.
What do you mean we have to?
It's not real money though.
Right, anyway.
Go. What's that? Right, anyway.
Right, so we're with our first guest. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm alright, thanks.
Okay. Is that it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm alright, yeah.
Not nervous? No?
Not really.
So what are you saying? What are you doing? What do you do?
What as a job, as a career?
Yeah, tell us about yourself. Well, tell the people about yourself. I know.
I'm 21 in June.
Nice.
Woo-woo. I work as a student veterinary nurse, so, you know, fancy. And yeah, I'm Bruce's girlfriend. That is my many talents.
So what got you into what made you want to be a veterinary nurse?
What made me want to be a veterinary nurse? Well, when I was little, I wanted to be a sweet shop owner, but that was just because sweets, and I'm still that way now. And then I wanted to be a doctor, mostly because I watched Holby City. If anyone's watched Holby City, yeah, or Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I watched Holby City, so I wanted to be a doctor for quite a while, and then I don't know why, I just wanted to be a vet, like an actual vet, not a vet nurse.
Didn't you want to be like an animal lawyer or something before?
Oh, that's like a very digressive story. But yeah, so I went to school and I was like, yeah, I want to be a vet nurse, a vet, whatever. And I had a meeting with the career supervisor and they were like, yeah, you're not smart enough to do veterinary. So I was like, oh no, okay. Carried on at school, and then I got to A-level and I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So I was going to go for history, art and English literature. And I got the grades for history, and I got the grade... Well, no, I didn't get the grades for art. What am I talking about? But I got the grades for history, and they went, yeah, no, you're not doing history. So they put me in law. I mean, law, if they're not putting me in history, why they put me in law?
Yeah. And
they put me in philosophy and ethics. Hated that. Thomas Aquinas, shout out. So I moved to psychology, and basically flunked my A-levels. But when I was doing them, and I was doing law, I thought... do animal law, combine the love of animals with legislation.
Wait, what is animal law? Like, what? I
really didn't look into it that much, but I assumed it would be, about their welfare and things. So, with owners when they go to court, RSPCA cases and things like that, I think that would be more animal legislation.
Right.
And, the Animal Welfare Act and testing on animals and things. I did like criminology too. That's quite interesting.
So you could be like a defence lawyer for a dog that may or may not have killed someone.
Yeah. Well, no, that dog would probably have to be put to sleep. And then, so I basically flunked my first year of A-levels.
Got kicked out.
I didn't get kicked out, but it was
it was
a mutual agreement, okay? Mutual agreement. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do with my life? And I got a job at Morrison's. I put in 20 application forms in a week. Because I was like,
Persistence
is key. Yeah. And got a job there and I thought, well, this is it. I'm going to become a manager at Morrison's. Nothing wrong with manager at Morrison's. Wasn't what I wanted to do, but I thought that's all I've got in life. And I tried to show an interest in the managerial role and nobody seemed to take it seriously. No offence, Morrison's, but the one that Reese and I worked at, they weren't great with their staff. I don't think so. But I was there for 2 years.
On that.
No, that's a long subject.
Shout out Morrison's. Fuck you.
Swear jar,
Put the
swear jar, ding, ding,
That
ding,
was
ding.
worth it.
Ding. Right.
But yeah, so I got a job at Morrison's. They didn't really approach me with a managerial role or anything. So I went round my friend's Megan and she was like, oh, why don't you try and go to Writtle, which is a animal-ish agricultural college, which I could never go to before because I couldn't afford transport. And I thought, sick, I'll give it a go. I filled in all the forms and I was like, this is it, I've got to get my driving licence, got to go to Writtle. So banged out, got my driving licence, pucker driver, and
Wait, can we
bopped my
just
way.
note how many times it took you to get your driving licence?
Right, same as Reese, alright.
Which is
7.
7 times. Wait, it took you 7 times?
Yeah, it did. I haven't
I
lived
thought it
this
took-
down.
You what?
I haven't lived this down because
Yeah, I thought it was 6.
he thought it was
but
6. He was
turns
like,
out it's
haha,
7.
I was 6 or 7. 7.
I just don't do well with tests. That's
Yeah,
what
nor
it
do I.
is.
Clearly not.
Me too, boo. But yeah, so I got accepted to Writtle. I had my own car, got there, did my first year. Really, really great, made some great friends, and you had to get a work placement, and I was lucky enough to get one at a vet practice. Normally you get them at kennels or catteries and things like that, but I got one at a vet practice, and I was sort of like a VCA, which is a vet care assistant, and you clean and you help restrain animals and things, and I really loved it. And I thought, do you know what, this is what I want to do, but I want to do nursing, and if I stayed and completed my course at Writtle, potentially could go on to nursing if I found a placement. And when my work experience was up, my now boss was like, we'll make a job for you. Do you want a job here? You'd have to work.
You asked, you were going to get a job in Vets to Pet.
No, that was an option. That was no, fair play. I'd forgotten about that. There was I'd mentioned it to my boss, but there was also a similar role at Colchester Vets for Pets, and
But you were so good
my
that they
boss was
basically
like, look,
made
we can't
a job for
put
you.
you in for your nursing this year. You'd have to do a year as a VCA vet care assistant, but then we'll put you in. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing! And I got a job there, and it was amazing. And then they did put me in for my vet nursing, and now life's very, very stressful. So
I bet it is.
yeah,
So how long you been doing it?
God. Well, the whole the nursing or the whole
Yeah,
veterinary
just whole
industry.
thing in general.
I think I was officially employed July 2019. 1st of July 2019 was when I started, but I did the work experience, which was originally 1 day a week, but I used to pop in on weekends and the odd day if they needed help with reception and things, from the year before. So since 2018 really I've dabbled in the veterinary industry.
Dabbled.
Just a
Dabbled,
little bit, just dabbled, dipped your toes in.
little swim here and there, touched a few dogs on the way. But yeah, no, I love it. It was a good choice, and it's kind of like a big middle finger up to the person that said I wasn't smart enough to do it.
So what's a day to day? What do you do as a vet nurse? When you go in?
Nurse. So you have 3 main roles depending on what shift you're on. So you have a morning shift, which is sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock start till 5 o'clock, and that's an ops shift, and your role is to set up for all the ops of the day. You admit them, so you go through the consent form with the owners, and you check that the patient's all okay to proceed with surgery. You go through costs and estimates, not always a fun conversation. Then you work out their pre-meds and you pre-med them, and then you knock them down for surgery and you monitor their anaesthetics. But currently with COVID, because we have quite a small theatre space, I monitor anaesthetics when they're non-sterile procedures, so dentals, which are done in our prep area rather than in theatre, because too many people.
So what's the difference between prep and theatre?
So it's basically like in the name. Prep is where you prep the animal to go. So that's where you put your catheters in. Our work's quite small, so it's got all your cupboards. It's got your lab machines. It's got your sinks to wash your kits and things. It's the area that you clip and clean the animal. And theatre is the sterile area, so that's where you do the incision and you do the operation. However, there are some procedures that aren't sterile, so dentals, mouths are full of bacteria and diseases. Well, not diseases, that was they're full of bacteria. So they're done out. So out. And then you have sort of like a mid shift, which is a ward shift. So your job is to take over the recovery of that animal. You also knock out patients as well, and
the patients are the
patients are the animals. Yeah,
I got. I was like, what, humans?
No, like as in the animal. So you knock them out and prepare them. So you kind of do a switch. So if you have something in theatre and you've got something that needs to go into theatre, it's like, okay, we'll knock out this animal, we'll do a switch, and then I'll take this animal into recover it, make sure it wakes up all okay and its vitals are fine. Then you sort of see it through its recovery. So you can have multiple patients, but it's like feeding, taking out on walks, monitoring all their vital signs.
You take animals out for walks?
Yeah.
Do you actually go about?
We don't go about about. So behind where we work, it kind of looks like a prison actually, but I always think it'd be really cool for a zombie apocalypse because it's got high bars. But it's just like a little back bit to a shop because we're situated in a Pets at Home, and you just walk them up and down. Like the fresh air is normally quite good.
Right.
We did have because we help with rescue greyhounds and racers. We did have this one that stayed in, and we would walk her around the block. But yeah, so the ward shift's just that, and that's where you call the owners and then you see them through discharge. So you discuss their recovery and things that you need to do and to ensure that the recovery happens as smoothly as possible. And with medications and things to go home with. And then you have your late shift, which essentially is your prescriptions. So you interpret prescriptions and you put them up and things like that. Your appointments, so if you have any appointments, so for second vaccinations, microchips, nail clipping, anything like that, they do that. Cleaning, general assisting other people, and then everybody helps a vet because we're not allowed people in the waiting rooms. When you've got an animal, it's not easy to do stuff to an animal without a holder, so there's a lot of restraint involved. And then obviously you answer the phone, you cover reception, you do the whole shebang really.
You're all sorts of
woman of many talents, mate.
What one do you prefer doing most?
I like ops because I like stabbing things. It's true. If anyone tells you they don't like stabbing something, it's a lie. Well, it's probably not a lie, but I like stabbing something.
No, some people don't like blood.
Why do you work in a vet?
Yeah, why would you?
I'm not saying a
Peaceful.
vet, but you said whoever said in general people that don't like
the first bitch spray I watched, I almost passed out. It wasn't because of blood.
What, a video or you?
No, I was in there. I was
first
in
thing you actually watched.
Wait, why did you almost pass out?
there.
How early on was this though?
This was as a work experience person, and I was allowed to watch ops. And in theatre, it's a small room. It's about the size of this room, maybe a tad bigger actually. Yeah, but it's really warm because obviously when you're cutting open the abdomen, that's gonna take away a lot of body temperature anyway. So you don't want it to be any colder than it is, and it's quite stuffy and I don't know how to explain it, but insides has a smell. And I'm not talking when you watch zombie films and you're like, ooh, it's all rotted on the inside. That's completely different.
Well, yeah.
But not flesh, but yeah, all the bits and bobs. It has a scent. And
I bet it has. Is
So
it raw?
smelly and hot?
So is it like raw meat?
No, it's not. It's not a horrible smell.
It's like a unique smell.
Yeah, so
you couldn't really describe it.
I could tell you what placenta smells like. I couldn't tell you, but if I could smell placenta, I could tell you what it smells like. that's what I've learned in my job.
This is where placenta this is.
Yeah. So but yeah, no, it's really great. And I think I hadn't eaten breakfast that day, so I put it down to that because I'm not that wheezy now. And you see eyeballs be removed.
Because I bet. I get your first time I guess you can't put animals down. That's not your job, is it?
No. So I'm a nurse.
But you're...
I'm not a nurse yet, but I remember.
Because about the first time that you were in the room when a dog was put down, you probably cried. But then I'm guessing now you're probably used to it.
Yeah, it's weird because I think it's a common thing that people say to you when you say you work in the industry and they go, oh my God, how awful. You're you're having to put someone to sleep. But sometimes it really is the kindest thing. So the first dog that I put to sleep, she was a Staffy, and she looked like my dog as well. She's not with us, R.I.P. Roxy, but looked like my dog. So you sit there and you form that attachment anyway, and it's such an odd thing watching life leave something, whether it be a person or an animal. Watching the light go out, it's like a little sunset. It just slowly goes down. Yeah. And it's not horrible. This is what I'd say to anybody. We had to put my dog down in the pandemic, and my mum was like, I can't be there. I was like, look, it's the kindest thing you can do for her. You know, she's going to be stressed as it is. And I said, look, it's just like going to sleep. It's like one of the nicest things I think I've ever seen. If I could be put to sleep, if I was ill, and there was no sort of, I would. It's really lovely. But you do get cases where you put down dogs, like, you know, we've put down like a 6-month-old dog because it's got problems that just, you know, aren't going to be okay. You put down dogs that people have said are aggressive, and you can't challenge that.
No. It must be hard that you can't say, oh, if there's like, you can not save it, but the owner's saying, oh, yeah, I want to put it down.
It's very, very difficult. It's like a moral compass thing. But you've obviously got to put your job in the way as well. And you've got to be quite ethical about it, because you could sit there and go, no, this is a healthy dog. We're not going to put you down. Obviously, you don't put down healthy dogs. You obviously challenge that point. But you sit there and think, if I don't put this dog down, what is the owner going to do to it at home? Is it going to tie it up and it's going to starve? Are they going to hit it with a plank of wood? Like, we've had people come in and go, well, I'm going to take it to the bottom of the field and shoot it.
Really?
Or I'm going to smack it overhead with a plank of wood. It's such a fine line. You can't call the police or anything. It's such a fine line what you can do, and
can't you just like keep them and give the animal to some kind of rescue instead of putting it down? Just like, oh, you're not going to get it back.
You have to get consent from the owner, because it's that again. That's another thing, because animals are classed as property, so they're not classed as their own individual thing in a sense of like. But we've done it before. Like, there was a cat, and you have to buy it.
Yeah, didn't you buy it for a fiver?
I bought a cat. No, for £1. I bought a cat for £1.
You what? What happened there? What's the story of buying a cat for £1?
This lady had a cat, and I think she was recently separated, so she was struggling with the cat anyway, financially, and it had been hit by a car, or something with its leg or pelvis had been fractured, and it needed surgery, and that can cost sort of 5 to 7 grand. A lot of money if you don't have insurance and things, and she couldn't afford it. And, you know, it's like, do we put it to sleep? You know, what's the sitch? And the vet had all those conversations. And one of it was, you know, would you be happy to hand, I think the cat was called Boo over to us. And then we can get her sorted and get her rehomed. And that's what we did. We bought Boo. I bought her for £1, and she went up to graze and had a procedure on her leg, and then I think she went to Cats Protection, and I think she's got a new home.
Wow, so you saved a cat.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you know, you do what you can. You do what you can.
So if I said, oh, you know, if there's a cat coming, can you get me one and I'll give you £1?
No, it's not as easy as that. Like, cats and dogs are different anyway. But like, you get more cats come in, because a lot of people, it's not a law to microchip a cat, so finding an owner for a cat is very difficult, and you obviously have to go down the routes of trying to make people aware that there's a cat missing and you've got this cat in your possession, and then it comes to a point, and then you rehome it. That's why you find in the veterinary industry a lot of people have animals that have come in, and vets and vets nurses always have like weirdo animals, because they tend to have like the ones that need something, and then somebody in the practice like, oh, a cat comes in, oh, so-and-so needs a cat, and then you shove the cat on so-and-so and they get a cat. And it's a weird cat with no tail, or not like a Manx cat because they have no tail, but do you know what I mean? It's
a weird animal with something wrong with it. Cat with one leg.
Yeah, you always get like, there's always a way. Like the vet that we have with us, we had a puppy came in, and he, bless him, was only dinky, and I think he had giardia, which is a parasite, and the owner couldn't cope with it, and we bought the puppy, and she had the dog.
Hey.
So really lovely.
So do you get people that find a cat and then go, oh, can I have it?
Yeah, that's you've. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. We have that. Yeah, people like cats. Cats are notorious for, like, if you're going to feed them, they're going to come to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
we've had people that have taken cats from like up north, had it for months in their possession, take it to the vets, have a first health check with us, and you scan it and you go, your details on the microchip.
Oh, fucking hell. What do you do then?
Do you have to like take it off them?
Yeah.
Do you have to return it?
You have to communicate with them. You can't just be like, I seize your cat. But you have to go, look, the details on the microchip aren't yours, what's the sitch? And they can either go, oh no, I rehomed the cat and this person said it's okay, and
I bet you've heard it all, haven't you?
you have to contact the people on the microchip, and then if they did, you know, people can be totally honest, they may have rehomed it, and a lot of people don't change the microchip. You ring that person, then go, yeah, no, I did rehome my cat to so and so, and then you go, okay, that's fine, get your microchip changed, sort of thing, and they on their din-dally way.
Have you ever called the person on the microchip and they said, oh yeah, my cat went missing like a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
How many
Really?
times? Like, does that happen more often than not?
I've seen it a few times, shall I say.
And how you been working there? How long?
A couple of years. But
A couple
I don't
of years and it's happened.
think it's a malicious thing with people.
No.
I don't think they're like, oh, I'm going to nick a cat.
Yeah, they probably don't.
Because
Because
I
then
don't
they wouldn't
think
be
you'd
stupid enough to
take it
come.
to a vet's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And a lot of them as
Is it
well.
just cats?
No, more often than cats.
It's easier to nick a cat from
Than
someone
a dog,
than a dog.
yeah.
Yeah, but, you know,
So it's never happened with a dog?
it's not never... I'm trying to think in my career if it hasn't. We've had like a dog be brought to us, and it was this dog, and we were like, thank you for bringing it in. They were like, oh, can we keep it? Can we keep this dog? Come on, I want this dog. And we were like, no, we have to track down the owners. And we looked at the microchip, and we had the microchip details and everything, and we tried contacting them and ringing them, couldn't get through. And then the people that found the dog came back in and go, oh, we found the owners now, they're on the phone. So I'm speaking to this lady, and I'm like, oh, we found your dog, thinking she'd be like, oh my god, thank you so much. And she was like, yeah. So I said, you know, we have a dog here, if you have any paperwork to prove that it's your dog. Oh, I don't have the paperwork. Well, you need something to prove that it's your dog. Yeah. And so I think her partner was sent down, and we were like, so what are the details on the microchip? And he got those wrong, and yeah, the dog went to the dog warden. And if they could prove it was their dog, which it might well be, it might be a microchip situation.
So what happens if they can't?
The dog get rehomed.
Oh, okay. Because when you said the warden, I thought you were like...
You thinking like in America where they have like the pounds and then they get put down?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they don't do that. I'd like to think they don't. I'm sure it goes into a rescue and gets rehomed. But more often than not, I guess they find the owners. But yeah, no, you know, the dog gets taken, you go, look, unfortunately, the information you've provided isn't suffice.
Yeah.
But obviously if it is your dog, provide it to the dog warden and it's in their hands.
So you don't just deal with dogs and cats. What's like the weirdest animal that you've had to deal with?
What, like work-wise?
Yeah.
Because we're a small mammal practice, it is mainly dogs, cats, rabbits, ferrets. Ferrets like to be swung about. It's crazy.
Literally what, from their tail?
No, I think it's all
It's like, whoa, like a helicopter.
You get a
Just
ferret
start taking off
and
with
you
it.
hold it under its arm. Don't do this at home. But you hold it under its arm and you swing it like gently from
Or
side to side,
anywhere.
like a clock
Right.
pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they enjoy that. We've had a few come in. We had
Wait,
one.
from their tail?
No, you dickhead.
under their
Under the
arm.
arm.
Under their arms,
So
right.
imagine picking up a human and just like...
Right.
No, little swing.
Yeah.
We had one come in not that long ago, and my boss was like, "Oh yeah, Lauren, do you want to hold him?" And I was, having a little swing, and then he just started weeing.
What, a ferret?
Yeah.
I don't
And they
think
walk
I've
him in on
ever
lead.
touched a ferret.
Nah.
Ferrets are nice.
Our next door neighbour had a ferret. Well, a couple of ferrets.
I like a ferret. Ferrets are nice.
Wait,
Bit smelly.
so what is the weirdest animal then? Didn't you say you had to look after a pig once?
I haven't personally, because ours is a small mammal practice. Ideally, it is going to be your dog, cat, your rabbit, your guinea pigs, your rats, your hamsters. We don't do exotics. However, we do have a nurse that has an exotic certificate, so she has like trimmed tortoises' beaks and things like that. We don't really deal with birds. I mean, we've had the odd chicken come in, and they've been a resident. When I wasn't working there, I know that they've microchipped a pig, and I know that they've had a monkey that they were doing x-rays on, and the monkey was running riot apparently.
And a monkey, and how cool.
Like a
Fraser's
little-
face lit up when you
Yeah.
said monkey.
I think it was like a marmoset type or something little. But yeah, I've had this animal wasn't in to see the vets or anything, but I was working on a Saturday, and I used to work on reception on a Saturday, and you could hear down the bottom of the store like a meh, like travelling down the store, and I was like, oh my god, it's a goat. And so they brought this goat, and I got to cuddle a goat. It was lovely. It was like
Imagine they're saying, "What do you do to work today?" Oh yeah, just cuddle the goat.
Yeah,
Just cuddle the
I
goat
got a
all
picture of
day.
a goat. It was lovely, really, really, really cute.
I bet you got like a phone full of pictures of people's animals.
It's more of body parts. I know it sounds really grotesque, but if somebody got my phone, I think they'd be genuinely concerned, because I've got dog testicles and I've got X-rays. I've got bad teeth. I've got dog.
Yeah,
willies.
just say, "Oh yeah, I work in a vet's though," and they'll be like, "It's not too."
But yeah, no, I have
I work
loads.
in vets, I'm not furry, I promise.
Because yeah, you take pictures to like show somebody else, like, oh, this is this, and you show them, and then, and also for I have an e-portfolio I have to complete to be a nurse.
Yeah.
And you have to submit evidence, so it'd be like X-rays and things, as long as the animal's not identifiable, which hopefully by the penis you won't be able to do that. But I don't know people's talents.
He's got a cock crane, you know. Oh, that's my dog.
But yeah, so yeah, it's full of lots of different bits and bobs. My phone.
What's like the weirdest situation that someone's had their pet in? Like some dog like got in some edibles or some shit.
I'm sure again I wasn't there.
Oh,
but
I said the S word.
I swear.
Hey,
Dad,
we're doing pretty good so far, right? You know?
Racing that money, just start
Donate him
effing and jeffing. Anyway, yes. As a dog or any animal, like eating someone's...
I wasn't here at this point, but again, this is another story that I've heard, so whether it's true or not, but a dog had eaten somebody's weed, and they were like in the kennel, and you're trying to go to the owner, you know, what is he? And the owner's like, nothing, and you're like,
Really?
Do they
I
like
guess not.
look stoned then?
well, it's not good for the dog. The dog's probably like, I think you had to keep it under anaesthetic the whole time for it to recover.
Oh really? Well, can it kill them?
I don't know. I assume so, but it's like with anything. I think it's a lack of understanding. People believe Google far too much. I mean, we poor dog. This dog had sore testicles, and this woman was putting tea tree oil on. Like, can you imagine putting tea tree oil on
I don't know
raw
what that is.
testicles? Tea tree
You're gonna have to
oil.
explain
Tea
it.
tree oil was like, it will sting, like it will burn, and this dog had sore balls, so she was
She
putting it on
was
it.
putting some oil that was going to burn its bollocks, basically.
Yeah, you have a lot of people like sprinkler turmeric, and turmeric's toxic.
Oh.
Sprinkler this, sprinkler that. Oh, put a bit of vinegar down the ears, like this spaniel smelled like a chip shop. So that was fun, not good for the dog. We have this person that they thought their dog was possessed with their dead dog. But that wasn't with us,
So
that
when
was
I
with their
told
previous
you,
vet.
what is the weirdest story, you didn't come up with, oh yeah, one owner thought their dog was possessed by their other dead dog. That
That's the
doesn't
story
spring to
behind
mind.
that.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
That it wasn't with us, so they'd moved vets, so it was on their clinical notes and their clinical history.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you just get a lot of people that are a little bit silly and like, oh no, you can't help my dog. I need to align its chakras and it'll be healed. And they're like, your dog's
Hold on, let me
hips
just meditate
dislocated
with
or
my dog.
something.
Yeah, let me just
Yeah.
like do a ritual, just like the sun's coming on the east.
Yeah. So you get a lot of whack people like that, and a lot of people read stuff on the internet, and you know that I think they'll go, you know, my dog wasn't very well. So I gave it an ibuprofen. And you're like, that's toxic. Bring your dog down now. Like cats, like we can have paracetamol. Dogs can have paracetamol. Don't give your dog paracetamol, everyone. Always ask a vet. But like cats will die if you give them paracetamol.
Really?
If they eat the pollen off of lilies, they'll die. It's toxic. You need to be really like And like around Christmas and around Easter, God, it's like chocolate toxicity is terrible.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
I had a woman ring me up around Christmas, and she was like, she had this small dog, like 10 kilos, less probably less, and she went, oh yeah, you know, my dog's eaten chocolate. I was like, okay, bring it down. We normally make them sick to try and get it out because it can cause sort of like organ failure. And she's like, yeah, but just ate a little bit. I was like, you know, how much chocolate did it eat? And she was like, oh, it was a whole, including the wrapping, a whole chocolate, what is it, chocolate orange.
Jeez.
But it was the extra large one. And she's like, oh yeah, but does it really need to come down? I was like, I can only advise you, but yeah, it needs to come down.
So what is in chocolate that
I
is
think
allergic
it's
to dogs?
theobromine, it's a theo something.
So what does it do to dogs?
It affects their I think liver. Don't quote me on that. You know, it's a Thursday evening, guys.
Messes their
But
insides
you know,
up somehow.
it affects.
So I always wonder what. So cats can eat chocolate. So dogs are the only animal that can't eat chocolate.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Hippo can eat. I don't know what Larry down the zoo can have. But
Yeah, I mean,
dogs
that's
can
in
have-
your practice that come in your practice.
No, it's a difficult one, like with chocolate, because a lot bad to admit, but my other dogs were brought up on chocolate bonbon biscuits. Like that was their go-to treat, and they were all right.
Maybe it's just like pure chocolate, like Cadbury's or whatever.
It's
Pure chocolate.
dependent on the person.
But you know what I mean, like actual chocolate bars rather
absolutely
than
the different types of chocolate, but it also is the individual as well. It's like some people are more intolerant to certain things, so you know, it's like better safe than sorry sort of sitch.
Right.
But yeah, you have to make animals sick quite a lot. Like we had a was it Great Dane puppy, and it had eaten gardening gloves, and it was raw fed, and so we made it sick. And this tray was full of 2 large gardening gloves, like I think it was a tongue, a heart, some other like full chicken bits, and like 2 cocktail sausages and a pepperoni stick. And you sit there and you just got to hold them, and like we had a collie. When you're sitting there with an animal retching, it's not the best thing in the world.
Oh, I bet.
You
Does it
sit
make
there-
you feel sick? Or are you used to it?
You just
I
get
mean, the
used to
sound of it is well grim.
it. Yeah, they
I
probably.
bet the smell was even worse.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, hopefully,
Sorry,
when you're
audio
doing
listeners.
it, they've ingested what they've ingested, like sooner rather than later. So I had coronation chicken, so that just smelled like coronation chicken, which is a lot better than poo and diarrhea, because that is horrendous.
Is there certain dogs that smell like their feces smell worse, or is it just in general?
No, I think it's just in general, and there's certain like methadone tends to make dogs poo. Yeah.
How do you make a dog throw up? Do you like shove
It's an
your hand down
injection.
its mouth?
It's
Oh,
injection. It's called Emidog.
Emmy dog.
Yeah, and then once they're like, you know, done a bit, like not retching anymore, thrown up what you want them to throw up, let them chill for a bit, and then you give them a anti-sickness, which stops them being sick.
So,
Or sometimes you don't.
and for the people that don't know, what's the difference between vet and a vet nurse?
So a vet can prescribe and diagnose most things. A nurse can prescribe if they have an SQP qualification, which is like completely different switch. But a vet can diagnose. So like, if I'm working in my job, for example, and a dog comes in and it looks like it's got allergic skin disease, something like that, I can't go to the owner, oh, it's got allergic skin disease. It's not my job. I can't diagnose. The vet can.
So basically, a vet can be like the one that diagnoses a problem and deals with the problem.
Yeah, and
Just kind of there to help
helper.
out.
you work under the direction of a vet.
Yeah.
So although in
So you're a vet's
practice,
bitch.
kind of, yeah, 100%. But I don't think they could do it without us. Yeah, you put that in the jar. Yeah.
I bet since now that you've become a vet, you get a lot of friends and family going, "Oh, Lauren, there's something wrong with my dog. Can you
Can you help me? What's
Help
wrong
me,
with my
please.
dog?
All the time.
Send them pictures of their dog's
And I'm like,
bollocks.
Scoob, I don't have a clue. Like, I don't know. Like,
You can advise, but you can't.
Yeah, but even like, I'm not qualified. Like.
You're not even a. Gosh, you're not
Well, they're
even
kind of like
qualified.
relying on you, right? More than they.
Well, the expectations
It's
there
because
as
you're
well.
free. That's why.
Yeah, but the expectations there as well. So,
And you don't want to get it wrong either.
well, yeah, and it's like they expect me to know this, and I'd much rather like, I don't need that pressure. You go to the vets and let them tell you.
Do you ever get people that Google it and then don't agree with you but prefer Google over you?
Yeah, but again, that doesn't happen so much with like nurses. It's more of a discussion, I guess, that happens with a vet where they go, well, Google said this, and the vet's like, but I'm a vet. I've gone to university for 6-7 years. Like,
Yeah.
I know my shizzle.
Oh, shizzle, my
My shizzle
nizzle.
nizzle. You know, I know my stuff. But like my nan's a good example, because that's a good name drop that I can name drop without name dropping. My nan, oh bless her, she went on Facebook and she found this like raw supplement food
Right.
for dogs on Facebook. And so she's sitting there around her house and she's going, Lauren, I'm going to feed my dogs raw. I'm gonna bear in mind these dogs aren't on raw. Like, I'm not against raw. I have nothing against raw, and I don't know enough about it, like raw meat.
Right, yeah.
I don't know nothing about it. I just know that if you're gonna do raw, you need to do it properly, right? There's nothing wrong.
Oh, is it like a thing? It's sort of like a special diet that needs to be done.
Well, it's like us eating raw food. I mean, the dogs. I mean, a lot of people go, but a dog's like a wolf. Oh, I don't see fucking chihuahuas looking like a wolf. Swear jar. Sorry, I got a bit passionate there. Oh, yeah, no, they should be able to cope with that. Back in the day, we used to feed them everything.
Yeah, back in the day.
But that's back in the day
Not
now.
quite
You've been
now.
feeding it Mr. Chappie. Like, their tummies are sensitive.
What the hell is Mr. Chappie?
It's a dog food, I think.
Oh, okay.
But, like, so you can't...
What? Mr. Chappie?
You can't-
Feeding them Mr. Chappie down the street or something.
Yeah, so you can't just, like, sit there and just go, wham, bam, I'm going to feed you, like, turkey legs.
Oh, so it needs to be done like...
You need to do it properly is the main thing, and I can't advise on what properly is because I'm not trained in it.
Yeah.
And some people do raw food fantastically, but that's not something that I know much about.
Yeah.
So she sat around this dinner table and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do raw food now, and I've got some mince in the freezer, and we're gonna get these dogs skinny. And she bought this supplement off of Facebook, and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's-
Oh, that's just like the first...
Warning sign.
Yeah.
Facebook supplement.
and I just sat there like silent. Like, if you could see my face right now, like I was just holding my breath. I was like, do you know what? I can't be bothered to have this
they
conversation.
can't. It's an audio
Like,
podcast.
I can't be bothered to have this conversation. God, you don't want to see me right now. I can't be bothered to have this conversation because I'd gone, I don't think it's the fact that you're not feeding them raw food because they're fat. It's the fact that you buy them cocktail sausages and there's 100 in a pack, and you say you feed them one a day for a month, which would mean that there is a lot more left than there is left. They're just porky bastards. I swear, Jar. Sorry. And that's okay, but my nan's very adamant, like, I found it on Facebook and he says it's all right, so we're doing it. And that's that. And you get owners like that as well.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, but I saw it on Facebook, so it must
But
be
that's like
alright.
what I was saying about like the chakras and the turmeric and things, and people, you
People
can
think they know more than the professionals.
you can tell a door to open, but it ain't gonna open unless you do it.
You can
know what I'm
lead a
saying?
horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
That's perfect. That's
What?
pucker. That's a good saying. He's
What's he
savvy.
say? What did you say?
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Okay, right. I thought you said you can lead a water whore. Yeah.
What?
Fucking hell. I thought you
Right,
said
again,
you
you
can
just
lead
said
a...
the F word.
Yeah,
No,
you
I
clicked it,
tapped
clicked
I
it.
tapped it. I thought you said, like, you can lead a horse to war, but you can't teach it to drink or something.
Right, Michael Maporgo.
Maporgo.
Yeah, he wrote the.
Pergo, innit?
Wars.
I don't know. It's his surname.
Michael, my G, horse guy.
Out there, yeah.
Yeah.
Big
His
up,
books
Michael.
are really good, to be fair. Oh, really good. I love his books. # Crystal Gold. Yeah. Potato famine in Ireland.
Oh, yeah. Bringing it right back to the start. How many vets or nurses or whatever are in
My
a
practice.
shift at a time?
It can depend. It can really depend on the day and who's
Is there a
there.
minimum that there's
Well,
allowed?
there needs to be a vet there. That's
Well,
a
yeah.
So
solid.
the minimum is 1, it's not 2.
It depends what day, because of a weekend you have skeletal staff, so you have one vet, one nurse, and one receptionist, and that's it. On a
Really?
weekend. Yeah. And
So if it's ram packed,
yeah, they gotta deal with it, honey. They gotta deal with it.
so how busy? I bet it gets really busy.
Yeah. It depends. People like to, and this really irks me.
Run over their dogs to take them on the weekend. Yeah.
No, because like, okay, accidents happen. That's fine, but they will sit there, and like, say you close at 6, they'll ring at like 2 minutes to 6. Going, my dog hasn't been eating for 4 days and it's had diarrhea, and I've been monitoring it. This is something my nan would do, so I don't know.
You really like dragging your nan through it.
But yeah, no, but yeah. So and they're
Yeah, her name
I
is.
just, and then and it's a puppy, and you're like, okay, we need to see it. But he's been ill for 4 days. Where have you been? And you've had since lockdown. I think quite a few practices were closed or open for emergencies only, which we were. However, we're one of the only ones in our area that are open 7 days a week. So on a weekend, people like pop up like, well, hey, I go here, but my vets aren't open, so can I use you? XOXO. And you're like,
Gossip girl.
bam, bam.
Has it gotten busier during lockdown?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Wait, it got busier during lockdown or after?
Both. So it kind of...
How does that work?
So it's just busy all the time then?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's busy anyway. Like, it picks up. But, you know, lockdown happened and we were open for emergencies only, and it was at a point where we were only seeing patients from the car park. So we'd go down, get the patient, come back, and you'd phone the vet, and it was all, like, quite... Oh, God, it's ages ago. I can barely remember it. And people were really lovely, like, thank you so much, blah, blah. And then because, like, as I said, people's practices weren't able to facilitate everything, I think we started doing routine ops, so that's like your neutering and things,
Right.
a lot earlier than other practices. So people were like, yeah, I can get my dog's balls off, way, and they came to us.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll whip them off. We'll whip your balls
yeah,
off.
but
Or
I ideally they stay with us.
right here in the car park.
They like our service enough. But
yeah, have you got a scalpel? I'll walk you through
do you
it.
know what they used to do back in the day with cats? Male cats, they used to shove them in welly boots and then just neuter them conscious,
Why
Wow.
welly boots?
because you can shove their head in it. Cats are sharp, like they are vicious. Not all of them.
Oh, what, to put the hands and head in there?
Hands, cats have hands.
Or
Put the front
them.
in
Yeah.
and hold him, and then cut their balls out whilst they're awake and conscious and can feel it.
Damn.
They don't do it now. Just want to
Oh,
say
yeah.
we don't do it now.
Or
Pain
don't do
relief
it at home.
and analgesia is provided.
You don't just have like
Disclaimer.
a wall full of wellies.
Oh, what should we use the pink ones today?
But yeah.
Could you imagine having your balls cut off while fully conscious?
Can you imagine having your balls cut off full stop?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
have balls. I know what I'm talking about. I can imagine not having any because I don't know.
Jesus.
I couldn't imagine anything being cut off while awake without anything, like any numbing or anything.
Yeah.
That
And
would.
that is how life's progressed in the veterinary world.
Very
Damn.
interesting.
Do you enjoy your job?
Yeah, I love it. It's very, very stressful. And to get where I want to be is very, very stressful, and I won't lie. And obviously there are certain things that happen that can affect you emotionally, like with a lot of jobs in that similar sort of industry. But the payoff is far greater, and I enjoy what I do, and so many animals, and they're really lovely.
So how do you get? So how, if I wanted to be a vet nurse, what do I then have to do to get there?
It depends.
Like how many years of
there's
studying and stuff?
There's different routes, so you can go the university route, and you can go. I'm going through the diploma route. So you, with university, my friend did it. I don't know much into it, but you go to university and then you do the course, and then you have to do a certain number of unpaid, voluntary work at a practice. And I'm sure the university provides different practices that take on students, because this is the problem. Like, once you've got the qualification of being a vet nurse, I don't think you'll ever miss out on a job. Like, I don't think a vet nurse is always needed.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting a placement is a whole different story. Like, this was the thing with my nursing thing. I was so lucky that they created a job for me, because finding a placement
It's hard.
is very hard. So like with my job, I had to have the appropriate qualifications. I had to have a practice that was willing to support and pay for me to go through the nursing. So they had to believe that I could do that, because it's not cheap. My course is 2 years. So I go to college 1 day a week for 2 years, work full time around that. You have exams to complete, you have assignments to complete, you have an e-portfolio to complete, then you have OSCEs. So once you complete your 2 years, you have OSCEs, which are like practical exams, and you do them all different, I think, medical fields anyway.
Yeah.
But you go in there and somebody watches you do stuff.
So basically, because you got to stay up to date, because obviously.
Yeah, so when I
medicine
qualify, you'd have to be a
changes.
CPD. You have to do CPD, which is continual professional development. So you have to do, I think, is it 15, as a nurse it's a lot less, but I think 15 hours in 3 years. So you have to do like webinars and read journals and update your knowledge, because obviously medicine is something that changes continuously, and you don't want to be outdated on that practice. So to stay on the register you have to pay a fee, and you have to keep up your CPD, and I'm sure there's other requirements like not break the law and be great on what you do. I don't know.
So but you can get the same way, you can go through the same way to get your job to university and the way you went. You don't have to go the way you went.
Yeah, so it's all preference really, and what type of learner you are. And in my opinion, I think that going down the diploma route, what I'm doing, which is kind of like an apprenticeship route, you have a lot of practice within the industry before you start. So it depends what sort of learner you are. Like my friend who went to university, she's fantastic. She's incredibly intelligent. She's good at what she does. But like for me, if I'd gone to university, you learn all the stuff at uni, and then you get thrown into a practice and you're like, well, how do I put a catheter in and how do I take blood? Because you've learnt about it, but you haven't practiced it. And until you've stabbed a leg, you don't know what it's going to feel like.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? There's certain things you're never going to... So at least you continually build that route as well as the knowledge route, and that's why I went down the diploma route, and probably universities wouldn't take me.
Well, you got advice to leave.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more value that you've actually got like the experience and not, oh yeah, I just read a load of books, you know?
I mean, don't get me wrong, people are fantastic, like that go to university, but I do think having that practical experience is quite appealing for an employer.
Yeah.
Well, you would already be employed in that practice, hopefully looking to stay there anyway. But yeah, I think so. But obviously a lot of people like a degree nowadays.
Yeah.
But there'll become a point because...
But you're still on the same level. Again. You're still at the same, like... You're person that went to uni isn't higher than... Yeah,
100%. So hopefully, like, so if me and Margaret... What a name. That's Margaret's. But if Margaret went to uni and I went down the route that I'm going down, we'd both be RVNs, registered veterinary nurses.
You'd never be like, oh, Lauren went down that route, so we'll get her instead. Still,
I mean, I don't know what employers do. They might prefer the paper stuff.
I mean, like, if you're already employed in the same, you're not.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think there is anything. You can do. Maybe you can do masters. I don't know. But you can do a lot of certificates as well. So, like, when you become a vet nurse, I'd be like my name and RVM, and you can do certificates which cost a lot of money, but I could do like an ECC certificate, which is critical care certificate, so then I'll get ECC at the end of my name. You get honours, I think, like, depending on what degree you pass, you get RVN and you get the HONS to show that you've got because I think my friend got a science degree, and that's what just her, but I don't really, if she had it and I had it in a practice, would be the same, like we're the same. If she had certificates and then delved in a different like route and had specialities, then yeah, she'd be treated differently because she knows more.
So the next level above you is a vet. There's no middle between a vet and a veterinary nurse.
It depends where you go. So I think some places have senior nurses, like senior, and you have a head nurse. So I have a head nurse. I have my manager, who's my clinical supervisor, and she's not a head nurse, but she practically is. Like, she knows the stuff. She's been in the bizzle for 30 years. Like,
bizzle.
She knows the stuff, so she's got experience. So you go there, and 9 times out of 10, like, she's going to know what the problem is with that animal because she's seen it. Yeah. She's been there. She's been in the practice since she was, 16? So 30 years. Yeah, I guess it's head nurse would be above. But that's more of a administrative, like an admin job.
Right.
Rotas and things. Yeah. But it depends where you are again, because our head nurse has a very active role in what we do.
So do you want to stay a vet nurse or do you want to go into something else?
I don't know, I would like, once I qualify, I would like to go into more of like critical care, like a hospital. So rather than like routine stuff, I'd like to deal with like GDVs, which like turn stomach or car accidents and things like that. I think it's really
But it's still
exciting
pets,
with
I
animals.
guess.
Yeah. However, I do like the medical side of things. Midwifery, I think, would be sick.
Which is
That's like babies, helping deliver babies. And you have like a certain level of knowledge, I guess. And a lot of people, I've spoken to some girls at work and they said that their friends, started in veterinary and then they had a baby and they're like, wow, midwifery. And then they went into that.
right.
I like paramedics. Not like I like paramedics. I mean, I do. Good job, guys. But I mean, I like that side. Anything
So
medical,
can you go
really.
into paramedics then?
I'd go into anything. I assume so.
But you'd have
Give
to
it
do
a
a whole
crack.
other.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you'd have to, like if I was fresh out of school. You have to, again, the only thing that would help would be like, because I know, like anatomy from what I
Yeah.
do, you can apply it to some degree. And like drugs, there's certain drugs that cross over, like adrenaline and things. So you can apply it to that. I'd like to write a book. I don't know what about. I think it is. I don't
Do your
non-fiction or
stories.
fiction. Yeah, I think it'd be like a story, not stories about my job or anything. It'd be like a story, like a story.
Oh, well, like
Oh, so you're talking
non-fiction.
about something completely different.
I
from
was
that.
like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying to write like an autobiography or
No,
something.
God, I'm not that interested. Okay, so if you two were to have a job that completely digresses from what you do now, so what you do outside of this, including podcasts, including your boxing, including photography, cinematography, blogs, what would you do?
Probably some kind of environmental activist kind of thing.
Nice.
Ruining the
I
planet.
feel like that's
a little
kind
bit.
of you now. When
Yeah,
you
that is what you do now, really.
Yeah, but like getting paid to do it and not just.
Would you be like a conservationist?
Yeah.
That'd be nice. You're going to say something
God, I don't even know.
different.
Or actually, that, or I'd like to go to space and just like study space, because that would be mad.
That's
And then you can have
cool.
existential crisis after existential
I
crisis.
wasn't yawning because you were boring.
Huh?
I wasn't yawning because you were boring.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be frightened to like be like 5, 4, 3?
Yeah, be in space. You couldn't
Throw
just
up in my
like. You
space
couldn't just
suit.
go. Oh, I'm gonna get some air and just go outside.
It's just going to be dark all the time.
Well,
It would be beautiful.
It
It
would
would
be
be,
scary,
something that
but,
you
like,
could say.
there'll be, I feel like there'd be more payoff and wonder in it than there would be like scary bits. You like you said with your job that it's stressful. It's not gonna be like happy and positive all the time. There's gonna be the downsides to it.
Okay, but if they were like, Fraser, you're going up in space, but you ain't coming back. You
Alright,
can't come back.
Sign
Oh,
me
can't.
the fuck out.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Are you still thinking
Yeah, I'm
about
still
it?
thinking.
Do you want to be a journalist, DJ?
I'd like to be able to draw. I'd like to be an illustrator. No, an animator.
An animator.
I'd love to do animation and like voice work. I'd like to have my own like show, like Justin Rowland or something. Have my own TV show.
Like a claymation.
Anything,
That's
yeah.
not
Any animation, really.
So you're talking about like graphic design animation kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess that's
Yeah.
basically. Well, I
Basically-
do graphic design, but not animation.
you
I
do
like
like-
to have. I like to write shows,
Yeah.
like animation shows.
Ah, interesting.
So anything creative. What would you do then?
Well, could do anything.
Yeah.
An actress.
You'd be an actress.
I don't have the confidence for that, but
If you did.
I would bloody love it. Like,
Yeah. What,
No,
like,
I like-
films or TV?
let's take a moment and sit there and think, like, Jennifer Lawrence, she's Katniss Everdeen. Like, she has lived through the Hunger Games. She wore some sick old outfits, but then she's been like an agent, right?
Yeah.
In Red Sparrow. She's been an agent, like, she's been everything. Or you could work on Game of Thrones, like, the outfits you could work, and you could be in Victorian times. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. I wouldn't be
You
able
could be a nurse.
Yeah, actors and
I would like happily like jump into Grey's Anatomy. I don't even think it's still running. Be like,
No,
yeah,
it's not.
Woo, BP's dropping. Woo. I just, I just would love it. Yeah, acting 100%. I think would be absolutely fantastic. You have to be good at it, and I wouldn't be able to remember my names.
Nice.
My lines, and I wouldn't be able to get skinny for the role because,
Well, no, they pay you to
be
do that,
skinny for the
though.
role.
Yeah, but if they're like, look, Lauren, you need to lock yourself in a room, like, people have committed to doing that. Tom Hanks is committed to doing that.
Right.
I couldn't
No,
do that.
They didn't ask him to do that.
I couldn't do that. I'm just being honest. So bring a corset in, tighten me up. But yeah, I'd love it if it was
No, they'd
brilliant.
pay you, though, to
No,
do
I
that.
could be Katniss Everdeen.
Well, I mean, you can't.
No, I
but
can't. She's got it. But I could be
You could be something.
Bob the Builder. I was going to say Florence Nightingale, but that's actually a thing. That's also my grandma, but not the one you're thinking about.
Not the name.
Not the real
not-
Florence.
No, the...
Stand back, Florence. There's a new one in town.
No, she actually was Florence
Yeah.
Nightingale.
My
great grandma. Yeah, no. I'm famous.
Right, okay, so at the end of this episode, we've literally swore 11 times. And as you suggested it, I think we should donate.
That's coming out of Fraser's bank account, everybody.
Yeah, I'll donate it.
Yeah, I think we should donate it. Fuck. Alright, 15.
Nah,
Just
put an extra and then we'll put a tenner each.
Alright.
Shit, wank,
You
piss.
can't count. It was 15 quid, so it was a five each, and you said a tenner each, and then...
Yeah, tenner each, so put an extra 5 in.
Yeah, he just wanted a really
then we'll
big
do,
round 20.
Are we putting them in the same charity or different?
Well, if we're going to
Oh,
do
I think we
10
should
each,
do it like in an animal one, as this is the...
donate to an animal charity.
We'll have to do some research and
Do
pick
some-
a right one.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what charity we choose on our Instagram, which is...
The Odd Ones Podcast.
Or Twitter or Facebook, either one.
Hit us up, give us a follow on social media and on Spotify. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Yeah. Lauren, do you want to shout out any of your socials? Anything?
I don't remember my Instagram. I think it's at Lauren Mullen _62. I am on private, but if you pop me a follow, I will accept.
Yeah,
Maybe.
So,
After like a few months.
After a few years, yeah.
Fraser's still there.
Still a bit sore, are we? Oh, no.
But yeah, so make sure you subscribe, follow us on,
Yeah,
or review us, do all the bits.
But only good reviews, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Only good ones. And we'll
We
see you
hope
later.
you enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye.